In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 magnetic secrets that all empaths must know in order to be magnetic and in order to have irresistible energy. Now, first off, let's define what an empath is. Most likely, if you're clicking this video, then you're an empath because you wouldn't have clicked on it. And also, an empath is somebody that is able to feel other people's emotions, many times what other people are thinking. They're people that are very empathetic, so it means when someone else is telling a story, they're able to really feel where they're coming from. And empathy is something that, in a way, empathetic people they have a strong dose of it to where they can really feel into situations, they can feel into other people in a way that sometimes other people may have trouble doing so. Now, there's also this dynamic when it comes to empath I'm going to share with you in this video that will help change your perspective of it to help you in a way become more strong in your own frame. Because remember this, when it comes to magnetic energy, when it comes to attraction, people feel what you feel about you. And sometimes the biggest challenge with an empath is that empaths can feel what everybody else feels, and sometimes they're feeling what everyone else is feeling instead of what they actually feel. Really hear that, because this is many times the missing key for a lot of people understanding magnetic energy. Empaths can feel everyone else's energy, and sometimes empaths will then only feel what other people are feeling, and when it comes to attraction, people feel what you feel. So the key is actually tuning into what you are feeling and remaining safe in that energy, because that energy will emanate off and other people will feel it. Now, the first thing that you want to do to have magnetic energy as an empath is to not define this sensitivity or being an empath as a negative thing. Don't define it as a negative thing. Like, I did this in a different video when I was talking about magnetic secrets for introverts, where if people that are introverts just own the fact that they're an introvert or own that energy and don't think they need to be something other than they are, that's very magnetic. Because when you own, maybe if you own being more quiet, then that can be very attractive because people feel what you feel. So if you own it, other people will see there's no problem with it. But if you're like, oh, I'm an empath, I feel other people's energy, there's something wrong with me, people feel that energy. But when it comes to an empath, it's very important to remember that yes, maybe you can feel other people's energy, but a lot of times I believe this also came from a childhood trauma of not feeling safe as a kid and looking to tune to the outside to gain a sense of safety. So it's like, okay, I will feel safe once mom and dad is feeling good, if I ease the tension in the family dynamic. And that's a lot of times empaths are people that went through childhood trauma that then had to feel safe somehow, and the way they go to feel safe is they tune to others in order to help. That's why a lot of times empaths are very giving people as well. A lot of times empaths have trouble receiving, but it's very easy for them to give because they had to give and they had to help their mom or their dad or their family growing up to ease the tension, to get everyone feeling good. They had to be the glue of their family. The challenge is that when it comes to sexual polarity and it comes to energy, if we're trying to fix the people we're with or dating, that depolarizes the relationship, the dynamic. So one of the most attractive things for you to do as an empath is to actually pull your energy back. Pull it back and start asking yourself the question, who am I and what am I passionate about? What do I want to say in this situation? Because empaths sometimes will also hold themselves back from being the real them. But the first secret of it is to own it. Just to own it and don't think it's a bad thing. If anything, you could reframe it and you can see that being an empath actually helps you to listen. And in dating and magnetic energy in general, there's a lot of times people just talk. And I think the way they're going to win someone over is if they just keep talking and they're interesting while they're talking. It's actually the other way around. The more you listen and the more you're curious and the more you're energetically present, the more attractive you are. There's a stillness that is very attractive that you can begin to embody. Now, the second thing that empaths must know in order to have that magnetic energy that makes them irresistible is very simple, but very powerful. And it took me a while to learn. And that is learning to say no. Learning to say no and learning to have boundaries. Because empaths many times will have trouble setting boundaries. Because literally, if I set a boundary with you, I'm going to feel what you feel. And if you're disappointed in me for setting these boundaries, then I'm going to feel disappointed. But remember this mantra. This was a game changer for me. That's your shit, not mine. If you set boundaries with somebody and they're angry with you, that's their stuff to deal with, not yours. It's not your problem. It's not your thing to fix them or to make them happy. So this is an understanding of that dynamic. And understand as well, when you have boundaries, it is exuding value in a way. I remember when I was dating someone a while ago, like 2 years ago maybe, or a year and a half ago. And there was this person that was a great person. However, somebody that would cross the boundary when it comes to valuing my own time. It's like if we were going to hang out, then it was like 3 or 4 hours later, I would get a text that said, oh, I overslept or something. And that would keep happening. And then eventually I drew the line and I said, I'm not putting up with this anymore. I drew the line. I drew a hard line too. And pretty much just cut it off. And that really took this person and surprised them. And I could tell that the act of doing that for me was me reclaiming back my own sense of like worth when it comes to my own time. But also this other person, it completely had an effect on them to where they were all of a sudden way more attracted or way more like, I'm sorry, I'll make sure I do this, I do that. And then from that point going forward, that never happened again. But I could definitely see that before I was molding myself and almost having a lack of boundaries because it was a self-worthiness thing. But it's very unattractive to not have your own sense of standard. It doesn't mean you're you're super dictatorship when it comes to time and stuff like that. But there's a value, like I was like, wait, I need to value my own time. And I'm not going to wait around for like an hour or two and then make plans and then they fall through. So saying no is actually more attractive. And not only that though, it's also self-respective. And self-respect is something that's very magnetic, very attractive. But the more you learn to say no, I remember learning to say no when friends wanted to hang out and stuff like that. And it was interesting because the more I was able to say no and also just not feel guilty, knowing if they're mad about it, that's on them. It was like the more empowered I felt because I was like, wait, I don't have to say yes to things I don't want to do anymore. And sometimes for empaths too, when if you're getting hit on by somebody and you're an empath, you might have trouble saying no. I've had friends that have done this, where a guy comes up to them and asks for their number and like they feel so like they can't say no if they're not interested. They have to like give up their number and then they waste time texting and stuff like that. So one thing my friend had to learn how to say no. No, sorry. Not giving you my number. Not interested. There's nothing wrong with that either. To learn, because that's emphasizing value. Not in a dick way, where I'm just going to be a dick to people. But if the thing with empathy is people that are empathic sometimes have trouble showing emotional, physical, or social vulnerability. Emotional vulnerability is like, this is how I actually feel about you. Sometimes empaths may remain in the friend zone a little bit too long or not make it clear that, hey, I'm actually sexually attracted to you. Physical vulnerability, maybe actually going up to somebody is something that's kind of scary, but I promise you, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, putting yourself in the unknown. Physically, even for me, like when I started dating my girlfriend, I was very physically touching her and showing my interest. I wasn't like, ooh, let's just be friends and let's just meditate and do talk about aliens and stuff. It wasn't like that. It was like I was actually showing intention and physically not afraid to be touchy-feely and showing interest. Now, of course, there's a way to do that without being creepy. Any of these can be done on the other side of it as well. Emotional vulnerability, you could go, I just feel this way, and you start crying or something, and that could be a little bit much for the situation. But in general, showing vulnerability, expressing how you feel to somebody else. Physical vulnerability, social vulnerability is being able in a social environment to like put yourself out there, not being afraid of what other people think. These are all very attractive qualities that understand that the only reason someone's afraid of it that's an empath is because in the past it hasn't been safe to put yourself out there vulnerably because you probably got shut down. or maybe there was some type of abandonment wound. But one of the most magnetic things you could do is to actually get into those situations, because the more you do it, the more confident you will feel and the more easy it will become as well. Now, another thing that empaths a lot of times have trouble really connecting with is they feel like they're afraid of tension. Tension to empaths and people pleasers is like a very bad thing, because tension as a kid was a bad thing. Mom and dad getting mad or somebody getting mad was not a good thing. And the challenge is that empaths then sensitively tune to everything to make sure no one else feels tension again. But then what happens is in sexual polarity and sexual dynamics and dating and magnetic energy, it is very important to be able to sit with tension, to be able to sit in uncomfortable situations. And tension, like think about it, if you have an abandonment wound or you're afraid of getting rejection, you might be afraid of actually showing your sexual interest in somebody and letting them know, hey, I like you or I'm attracted to you. Because what if they reject? What if they don't agree or something like that? But being afraid to go into that energy and to express it is keeping it depolarized. And it's keeping the truth from coming out, that you might be interested in someone. So one thing it's important to get good at, or at least intend for, is to sit in tension. To sit in tension. I had to learn how to do this. Even like with that one girl I was talking about, where like my time and everything, there was a moment when I went to the gym and I saw this person, and she was like, "Why?" Like I cut it off or whatever, and then I saw her and she was like trying to make up for it, and I was firm. I was like, "Well, listen, I understand. You just don't prioritize hanging out, and that's okay. But I'm not putting up with it any longer." And it was very awkward. But after that, I went and worked out. She went and worked out. She then texted me and was like so apologetic, and like she had all these. I could tell was a powerful thing to sit in, was that energy. So realize tension is your friend. Tension is a good thing. Tension is something that was bad as a kid, but now it is actually very important to not be afraid of being in tension and to polarize people to either liking you or not liking you. By showing the real you, doesn't mean you're going out to like fucking rustle people's feathers and stuff like that. But in general, it is a good thing if you sway someone into polarizing liking you one way or the other. Because then you're not wasting your time. And here's the thing, the people that wouldn't like you anyways, maybe then don't want to be around you. That's okay. People that would kind of like you now really like you because they get to see the real you. So don't be afraid to express the real you, to express what you really think and feel, to be vulnerable. That's really one of the biggest keys to that of empaths, is to actually be vulnerable. Now, I'm going to make sure this video goes out on one of the last days to join the 21-day Confidence Love Challenge. So if you want to remove fear and doubt around your identity, if you want to remove codependent, needy energy so that you can feel safe in your own frame, if you want to really have a magnetic frame in a very powerful way, now is the best time to join the 21-day Confidence Love Challenge. If you want to join, click the link below or go to www.confidencelovechallenge.com. Now's the time to join before we start on July 1st to the 21st. We're going to be going through 21 days of transformation to completely rewire our identity from the inside out, so that by the end of it, we're the most confident, safe in our own bodies versions of us. So if you want to be magnetic, this challenge is for you. This is not just passively watching YouTube videos. There are things to do in a group of people that are also focused on the same thing. There's live coaching, there's expert speakers. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So go to confidencelovechallenge.com if you wanna join. And then also, there is a video right here that is going viral on empaths. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's one of the best videos that you can watch. If you are an empath, watch this video right here. In this video, I believe is one of the most profound ideas that has changed my life when it comes to understanding what it means to be an empath. And recently I was in a live Q&A I was doing for one of my groups, and I shared this idea, and I could tell that it was